Hi, everybody, and welcome to TikTok Live. I am answering your relationship questions as per usual, but I will certainly also talk about things on my own. One thing that I keep getting asked is I'm always telling y'all to get into couples counseling with your spouse. How do you get them in, though, if they don't want to go? And this is obviously it's an important thing to think about because you don't want to seem to be forcing an issue. Guys always don't want to seem like an asshole, you know. Um, but the point here is like you actually have to have an ultimatum. You have to know what your own goals are. Thank you for all the likes. That's awesome. Thank you. Follow me and subscribe. You have to have an ultimatum. Like an ultimatum is not bad. Ultimatums get a bad rap. What an ultimatum is it's a boundary. It's a boundary. Now, a fake ultimatum, that's some bullshit. That's lying. Like if you tell your wife you're going to leave if she doesn't go to couples counseling, but you're just lying, then you're a manipulator, So you wouldn't want her to do that to you, so you don't do it. Don't bullshit her, right? But an ultimatum that you mean is a boundary. So if you haven't had sex in like 6 months and you want to go to couples counseling to address that, then you have to do some deep internal work. How long are you willing to stay if somebody doesn't even try to work on the marriage? I mean, like, it's a real thing, And somebody said, you've been arguing with your wife. I know. I would need to know a lot more than what you told me, though, to understand what to say, Vladimir. But anyway, back to the couples counseling. How long are you going to stay in an unfulfilling relationship where somebody is not even trying? This is stuff where you have to think about your own self-esteem. How long would you want, and a lot of men find this to be very compelling argument, how long would you want your son to stay in your marriage? The marriage that you're in right now. How long would you want your adult son to stay in that relationship, right? A lot of guys are like, oh, fuck no, I wouldn't want him to be in my marriage for like 30 seconds. Well, shit then, why are you any different? Why do you not deserve to be happy? Truth is, I'll tell you why you think that you don't deserve to be happy. It's always early life upbringing issues that make you feel like you don't deserve better, and for some men, that's compounded by previous relationship experiences. But either way, we can all agree that at some point, a person has to put their foot down and say, I don't really want to stay in a relationship where you're not even really trying to make things better. You would want that for your kids. I'm sure your wife may think the same, quite honestly. If you were to all of a sudden stop doing everything that you do, wouldn't she put her foot down? So am I happy? I am happy. Thank you for asking. Nobody ever asks about the therapist, but I am happy, having a good day. Thank you, Russell. Please do send likes. But anyway, so how do you tell your spouse that you want to go to couples counseling? You say, I do not think this relationship is working right now. Neither of us seems very happy. Because, think about it. Does she seem happy? If you're not happy, she's not probably that happy either, by the way. So, there's very few guys who are like, oh yeah, my wife's living her best life, but I am completely miserable. It just doesn't work like that. It's like there's an environment, there's like a feeling in the relationship. And if one person's miserable, it's unlikely that the other one is living the dream, So, yes, therapists are very self-aware, usually, at least hopefully. So anyway, so you say, I don't want to live in this relationship like this forever. I want to go into couples counseling because we're not happy. And if she has, or I speak to mostly the guys are following here, but I am a therapist. Somebody asked if I'm a therapist. Not, would I be like, pretending to be a therapist? If I was going to pretend to be something, wouldn't it be like, I don't know what, something cooler? But you can see all my diplomas back there. But anyway, so you say, if they say they don't have time, it's 45 minutes every 1 or 2 weeks. And most therapists now do telehealth. If you don't have time to click over on your computer from one window to another, average of 22 and a half minutes per week if you do every other week 45-minute sessions, well, then you don't really want to be married. 22 and a half minutes on average. Come on now. So how could you say that you care about the relationship or you love your spouse if you're not willing to do that, right? That's less time than like if you randomly were suckered into talking to a coworker, or if like the line at grocery shopping was longer than you expected. So this is not a big time commitment. And if people are talking about money, there are therapists that accept insurance. They do have longer wait lists. But even if you go out of pocket, people are spending a lot of money on stuff that is not as meaningful as making a better relationship that your kids can use as a template one day. It's like, you have much less motivator to work on the relationship. Quite honestly, I'm just talking to you straight. But if you do have children, then what exactly is it that you're buying them that would be more important than setting them up to have a template of a loving, intimate relationship, right? So there's no sneakers, no camp, no nothing. If we're talking about food and shelter, certainly food and shelter is paramount. But if we're talking about luxuries, what luxury is more important to a child than being in a happy home without conflict? As a person who grew up in a home with a lot of conflict, as many of my followers have, because that's who gets interested in psychology and relationship stuff, how many of your sports stuff and extracurriculars would you have eschewed in order to have your parents not hate each other, right? It's a pretty big deal emotionally. So anyway, that is a really good way to talk to your spouse about it, is to say, what are we doing? What kind of template are we giving the kids? What kind of example are we giving our children here, right? So it could be 45 minutes, literally every other week, and we're paying money for shit that really is not as important as this, and I want to do it because I'm not happy, and I don't think you are either. If you lay shit out very directly and confidently, you have a much higher likelihood of getting somebody to listen to you. That confident momentum, it's called, can really carry a relationship forward. So that is what you really need to do if you have gotten to an impasse and you and your partner are just really butting heads and you're at odds with each other over basic issues of intimacy, of communication, of compatibility, of time spent together. All of these things, So anyway, that is the way that you really need to approach it. Same as you would tackle a problem at work. Straight on, no avoidance. All right. Well, thank you for following me. Please do send me likes. Please do subscribe. And I got to go back to session now. So I will talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.